Hello class, this is Mrs. Davis. I wanted to go over some of the algebraic word problems. The number 3, well slide 3, about Mary having $205 to spend on 6 books. So she has $205 to spend on 6 books. After buying them, she had $13. What we need to do first is we have to go with what we know. We know she has $205, right? And we know that she now has only 13. So we're going to say 205 minus an unknown number equals $13. So N is actually the amount she spent on the books. So we know she had $205 to spend on 6 books, but we don't know the actual number, the actual amount of money she spent on the books. So that is your variable N, your unknown number, which is representing how much she spent on the books. So you're going to take 205 minus the unknown, which equals 13. So how do we solve for the unknown variable? So remember, we have a negative N. We don't want to work with a negative number. So we're going to add N on both sides. So if you do that, that will cancel out your N on this side and bring it over here. So now you're going to bring down the 205 equals 13 plus N. Okay, so now we want to get N by itself because we want to say N equals this number. So it's going to end up where a number equals N, but we can always switch it so that N equals a certain number instead. So let's subtract 13 from this side so we get N by itself. And then you're going to do the same on this side. So whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other. So on the right side, we subtracted 13. We need to subtract 13 from the left side. Okay, so doing that, we end up with 192 equals N. 13 canceled out because 13 minus 13 is 0. So we have 192 equals N, but we need to turn it around and put N equals 192. So that is the first part of the problem. Okay, N equals 192. That is $192 is what she spent on 6 books. So now, how do we find out how much she spent for each book? How much did each book cost? So to do that, we have to divide. So we're going to do, well, let's see, how much she spent on each book would be 192 divided by 6 books equals how much she spent. So you could say X is the variable we're going to use for how much she spent on the books. And you don't have to do anything but divide. So 192 divided by 6 will give you, let's do it. Let me show you. Instead of writing the number, I know some of you, you can just go ahead and use your calculator to compute that. But this is how you would set up your problem. So 192 divided by 6. First, you have to see how many times can 6 go into 19. So that would be 3 times. 6 times 3 is 18. That's the closest you will get to 19. So 6 times 3, 18. We bring that down. 9 minus 8 is 1. And then we bring down the 2. 6 goes into 12 2 times. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 minus 12 is 0. So 32 will be the amount she spent on each book. 6 times 32 is 192. That's how you would check your problem to make sure you have the right number here. So 32 is how much she spent on the books. 32 is how much she spent on each book. Each book was $32. All right, I hope that explained the problem and that you understood how you had to do two things. This was your first step, and then down here is your second step. You can't see it. So first step was at the top, second step at the bottom. All right, moving right along. All right, so I wanted to help you guys out with slide 5. So it says if 28 less than 5 times a certain number is 232, what is the number? So I'm going to write this out for you. If 28 less than 5 times a number is 232. Okay, what is the number? Okay, so let's first break down these terms. Less than means subtract. Times means multiply. Is means equals. Okay, so now that we did that, we can set up our problem. Okay, we're going to set it up. Oops. Sorry. Okay, so now 28 less than 5 times a number. So you're going, because it says less than 5 times a number, that means we're going to subtract that from 5 times a number. So you're going to put 5n minus 28 equals 232. Okay, so what we need to do with first, this is like undoing the order of operations. So we're going to add 28 to this side so we can cancel it out. So we have 5n to stand on its own on this side of the problem. So we end up with n equals a certain number. So if we add 28 to this side, we also need to add 28 to the other side. So whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other. 5n equals, because 28 minus 28 is 0, 5n equals 232 plus 28, which would give you 260. Because if you do it this way, 2 plus 8 is 10, carry a 1, 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6, 260. I hope that's what I said. So 5n equals 260. Okay, so how do we cancel out the 5 here? We're going to do what? Divide, right? So we're going to divide both sides by 5 since we did it on one side to get n to stand on its own. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we have 1n, and that can just stand as n. You don't need to put 1, but that's what we know it's there, but we don't have to actually put it. 1n is not necessary, just right there. So n equals 260 divided by 5. Let's compute that. 260 divided by 5. 5 goes into 26 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. So we're going to put 25 here. 26 minus 25 is 1. Bring down your 0. 5 goes into 10 2 times. Your answer should be, okay, 10 minus 10 is 0, so we're done there. 52. So n equals 52. So I hope everyone got that. I'll be grading your papers over the weekend, grading everything, get caught up. But I hope everyone is having a great day and have a great weekend. All right, thank you for watching. Goodbye.